Project. This is the sub-series of the Ahn Rho Project dubbed Rush. It's actually a sub-series of something I would call the game of life. But given that I'm gonna get like probably copyright strike or some shit like that, I'm just gonna call it Grill. It's a little moniker, GRL, game real life, and it's a little pun because it's kind of just me being stupid, like memeing grill. Now, anyways, I don't need to explain too much about that. What this is about basically is being practical, because I have certain goals I want to achieve by the end of the month because my brother's going to come back. And what I want to do for him is get him his bed back. Um, but currently, everything's a mess in terms of my relationships, my work habits, my workplace, employment, volunteer work, and this project even. I've fallen out of place in health, in terms of sleep cycles, in terms of what I eat. I have all sorts of strangely addictive habits that I haven't managed to kick out of. So it's sort of this is really just a impromptu kind of thing that I have to do. And if you look at the title, I guess, of this live stream right now, it says game reset. Basically, I'm rehashing over the past 2 weeks a particular way of living. And previously, the way I had lived is basically, let me put this down, is that I put, maybe I won't put it down, but basically, I put at the top principle of my life was to live without regrets. And so long as I tried my best, I felt that, it wouldn't really matter if I managed to achieve what I had accomplished. I mean, achieve what I had accomplished. If I achieved anything at all, whether I accomplished anything, I was just I gave my best shot, and I should be satisfied with that. Um, but I'm gonna backtrack. I'm gonna sort of backpedal a bit and say that no, because earlier in my life I actually did the opposite extreme. Instead of casting my achievements aside, I didn't really try too much. Well, I tried, but I didn't do what I had deeply wanted passionately because I didn't believe it was possible. But afterwards, a bit of time after, say, university, I decided to go the other way around and said I should try at least to do what I want to do, even if I can't succeed. I have to take that back. So, while I'm not going full throttle back, what it means is that what I'm going to try to change is pursue what I care deeply for. So I'm going to give my best efforts, my best endeavor, but I'm going to throw in the extra principle in having a meaningful, purpose-filled life is that I actually have to achieve these goals. Now, you know, we can have an entire video or live stream debate about whether or not that is a good way to live your life, but that's what I'm going to do because I don't have too much time to expound on that. It may be a topic for a future video, but long story short, I'm going to place at the very top of my two principles of living this life. And the analogy is that, life is a game, and it is. You can say it's a business, it's a project, it's also a game, and you can do all sorts of interesting metaphorical things and say life is like a river that ebbs, left or right and whatever. But whatever, you get what I mean. It's a lot like a game, and a multiplayer game with very severe consequences and some very great rewards. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to place at the top of at the pinnacle, and it's the two principles are: yes, I have to give my best endeavor, pursue what I so desire, what I want to do, and I have to make it to the summit. I have to achieve something out of it. Now, the main issue was that recently I've been so caught up in the details that I've been hoarding all these things. So, if you take a look, this is my room right now. and all the things that I sort of wanted to cover. Give me a second. Um, Sorry, there's some stuff I didn't really want to show. There was a lot of stuff here that clearly, if you take a look around, it's just a mess. It's a fucking mess. And this is all stuff that I was supposed to video make on so that I could throw it out after a one shot take. It's mostly garbage, but I'm supposed to detail like my health habits, what I eat, what my thinking and my plans are with them, and then I can throw it away. But I never got to it. A lot of the things on the table here are mostly gifts, same thing here, and I haven't gotten to them either. If you look up here, it's a mess, a bunch of stuff that I have from university that I want to videotape. Again, I haven't gotten to it. A lot of stuff in here too. The long story short, the aim of one of the sub-series was called Item Catalog, and I was doing that for at least 2 months prior to this video, to this live stream. The point being to try and, I suppose, um, capture all of these things here, so that I could throw away the things I didn't need and declutter my room. Basically, I would revert back to, especially when I was younger, a very minimalistic style. But I'm not fully reverting, it's just like I've learned a lot of things since then. It's not like I'm going to be minimalist, but I need to, you know, this is a meme now, but clean your room. I mean, I've always done that before, but as of late, I've been trying to produce content on each of these material possessions that I have and extract some sort of meaningful thing that I can create and post and share. But haven't gotten to that. And then if you take a look around the room, it's the same shit. So on this side, there's also a mess, and this is like clothing. Again, some of these things are what I would have dubbed class two, not sorry, class two, class one or class two items. Class one items being from my guardians that I don't intend to keep anymore. Class two being mostly trash or garbage. And yeah, I haven't gotten to that. So there's a lot of garbage here that I just haven't gotten to. So that's the reworking of the principles of playing this game. Is I'm going to play differently now. I'm not going to play the game of reality through merely the top principle of giving my best towards my passions. I also have to add on to that principle a secondary principle, a top level principle being I actually have to achieve those passions. So it means definitely I have to be more practical. As a result, um, there's are some things here I've noted down here, but because I won't be able to get to them, I don't think I will. I'm not going to touch too much on that. Maybe I will actually. I'll just mention them very briefly. I already spoke about the two principles up here. It's a system redesign, item catalog. I talked about the sub-series learning. Yeah, I have to learn how to code and learn how to use Microsoft Access, learn how to this and that, HTML. From a friend of mine who's actually down in Silicon Valley now. He's helping me out by giving me resources, but of course, largely the responsibility lies on me to catch up with the work. And then there's progress. So what I intended to do was, given the room that I'm showing you right now, that's such a fucking mess. I was supposed to map out the floor plan of all the stuff here that I'm going to toss out in terms of class one, class two, class three items, things that are gifts, class three, or no, things that I'm going to keep, class three, class four are gifts, class two are garbage, class one is stuff that comes from my guardians I'm going to toss away. So stuff like that. I was supposed to map out a floor plan of my entire room and then, you know, slowly make a series, 100, 200 episode series on that and get it up, pumped out. But I haven't made that floor plan. Basically, progress is very important because of, it gives us sort of a clear objective that I'm going to, it's basically measuring your goals. So the series of item catalog is supposed to have a goal oriented approach to that. And then visual, yeah, I had to add something visual to it. So I decided to put on gloves on my hands, but that doesn't really make much of a visual part. So in other words, I have to do something like I'll just do a sketch or a draw. Otherwise, you guys are just gonna get bored by the video because it's just some guy talking. Might as well be a podcast, right? And then finally, obligations. These ones um, involve me sort of touching on on more important parts like work and volunteering, but I won't be able